Welcome back to the Lumiose Post, where we talk about all things Pokemon, and today we're going to be talking about the Scarlet and Violet DLC, the Hidden Treasures of Area Zero, and specifically, we're going to be talking about some things that I'm a little worried about with this DLC. Now, I'm not trying to be a negative Nancy, a Debbie Downer, whichever you want to say. I just, I think that there are some things that we should, be really excited about, but there's also some things that we should kind of sit back and kind of check ourselves on, you know what I mean? So these aren't things I necessarily will think will happen, but I admit I'm a little worried will happen. Be sure to let me know in the comments below your own worries about the DLC, and maybe what we can do is we can all be like therapists for each other and say, well, here's some hope for that, and you can give me hope on my worries as well. We'll lead with the number one thing, and that is new Pokemon, forms, whatever. There not being enough of that. So, here's my issue. We know 5 Pokemon that's coming in this DLC. You've got the 3 hero Pokemon in Teal Mask, you have Ogerpon, and you have Terapagos. Well, if you look at Scarlet and Violet's, or Sword and Shield, excuse me, DLC, you will see that there was all the Pokemon revealed in the first thing. Like, they showed in the very first trailer, they showed all of the new Mons and forms, with the exception of Calyrex and Glastrier and their special forms with Calyrex. And they didn't show Galarian Slowbro and Slowking, but they kind of did. They just had them, like, scribbled out. So really, I don't even count those. And with Galarian Slowpoke, you knew there were Slowbro and Slowking. And what happened was people got burned, including me, because like you add things like Clara's Bow, and everyone was like, oh my gosh, there's going to be a Galarian Dustox based off of the Peppered Moth, which means there's probably going to be a Galarian form for Beautifly as well, while other Galarian forms could be seen. And there was none. There was Slowpoke, and there was Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres. That was it. So I am kind of worried that, for one, the Pokemon we've seen might be it, save for 2 others. And for 2, that there won't be any forms or stuff, and we'll kind of get jebaited like we did with the Galarian Dustox Bow. But hopefully that's not the case. I do kind of think that since we're going outside of Paldea, we have a chance at seeing regional forms, because we didn't get many of those in Scarlet and Violet's base game. I also really hope we see Paradox Pokemon, new Paradox Pokemon, but I'm a little worried about that, because the areas we're going to, while they're connected to Area Zero, because, they have to be, because it's called the Hidden Treasures of Area Zero, they're not Area Zero, so I worry we won't see new Paradoxes either, and I feel like we absolutely should, which brings me to my next point, and that is that I am worried that we won't get an explanation on Paradox Pokemon. So, there's a big debate in the community right now with Paradox Pokemon. Some people believe they are true past and future forms. So, Great Tusk is a true ancestor to Donphan, and Iron Treads is a true descendant to Donphan. But then there are some people who believe that these Pokemon were simply brought to reality by Terapagos and may not be real Pokemon at all. It may have just been imagined by Heath, Sada, Turo, maybe even you, the player. I don't know, just imagined and brought to life from it. So they're not truly ancestors or descendants, they're make-believe Pokemon, essentially. Now, I hope we get an answer to this. I'm at the point where I've switched around on it a good bit. When I first played through the games, I was like, oh, they're ancestors, they're past and future forms. But then I kind of flipped around when we got the reveal of Walking Wake and Iron Leaves, and I was like, you know what, Walking Wake, there's no way that's the ancestor. They must be imagined Pokemon. And now I'm at the point where it's just like, you know what, I don't even care anymore. I just want to know. I don't care which one it is. I just want to know. To me, past and future forms is more I wouldn't even say creative, but it's a better explanation than just they're imagined. I kind of hate that. I would rather them be past and future forms. But again, I'm at the point now where I don't care. I just want to know what they are. I am a little worried they won't address that. The idea of these Pokemon is they're paradox Pokemon. Paradoxes should not exist. So they literally could just never explain them, and then they would hold true to their names. You know what I mean? If they never explain what these Pokemon are, then they are a paradox. I hate that, but that might be it. And on that note, I am worried that Iron Leaves and Walking Wake won't get any lore or anything to them. You know, these are paradox Pokemon, but specifically are paradox Pokemon of legendary Pokemon, of Suicune and Virizion. So, you know, as much as I loved the reveal that, oh my gosh, it's Pokemon Day and I can get Iron Leaves and Walking Wake right now, that's so cool. But it's also like, you know, I hope there's more to them. You know, I hope we get some story to them. They don't look like anything of the depictions of them in the books, so I hope we get that explained. I hope we get to hear about, like, the occulture, I guess, rumors about them. I hope they get some story, you know? I really hope we get something for them. I really, really do. It'd be a shame if they were just Pokemon they dropped in a raid and we never hear anything about them again. I imagine they would at least get, like, dex entries in a Teal Mask, probably. I imagine it'd be the first one. But, you know, I hope there's actually some story to them and they have, like, even if it's so minor, a thing in Teal Mask. Because these are too special of a Paradox Pokemon to not get something, you know? Moving into the next thing, we have kind of a flipped thing here. I'm worried that Teal Mask won't have enough story and that Indigo Disc won't have enough land. And where this comes from is Teal Mask is supposed to be playable right when you get the ability to go open world. You know, you don't really get open world until you're at Mesa Goza and you know, they announce the treasure hunt and they're like, okay, go out on the treasure hunt, and then it is truly open world. Well, they said that Teal Mask will be accessible from that point. So that's super neat, but it also makes me think, okay, if the idea is Teal Mask can be played before you've done the Way Home plot, then Teal Mask will probably really not connect much to the Way Home plot and the things you learn about there, like Area Zero and the Paradox Pokemon. It probably won't connect much to that, and that'll suck. And then Indigo Disc, it says that has to be you have to have beaten the Teal Mask and you have to have beaten the game, so you've had to go through the Way Home plot in order to do the Indigo Disc. So Indigo Disc will definitely have story that not only, you know, kind of closes off the Area Zero stuff we learned about, but also closes off whatever we learned about in Teal Mask and probably even connects the two. And that's great. I'm glad that they're going to connect it all. But I gotta admit, I'm a little bit worried that, like, you know, I have to wait till winter 2023 for the Indigo Disc. You know, also there's rumors that could be pushed back a little bit further and it could be like January of 2024. If that's the case, that's a long wait to learn about things that the game has been heavily hinting on. I hope that Teal Mask at least gives us some breadcrumbs for this. Now, as for the land with the Indigo Disc is in an academy, the Blueberry Academy, which is primarily set underwater. My fear is that there's just the school. Now, the thing that gives me hope on this one is that we see that some of the returning mons in the game include Zebstrika and Whimsicott, and I just don't see those Pokemon running around an artificial school and you just finding, like, oh, in the cafeteria, a wild Blitzel. Caught it, you know? I just don't see that being the case. So I'm a little hopeful on that. Also, there is, like, a mask that appears in the Indigo Disc trailer, so, you know, that could very well be a landmass near the Blueberry Academy that you can visit. There's a lot of reason to think that there is more land, but I won't lie, it's something I'm trying to keep myself in check of. I'm trying to tell myself, don't expect an expansive area for Indigo Disc. Just go in and be happy if you get it, you know? But, yeah. Overall, I am also worried that the DLC won't give us much to do once we've beaten it. Now, the big issue with Scarlet and Violet is that you go through the game, you go through the No Way Home plot, you do gym leader re-challenges, and then you do the Academy Ace tournament, and all that is left for you to do is raids if you want to, battles if you want to, like online, and the Dex completion, of course. That's it. There's no, like, battle facility, no, like, little feature you can play around with, to like get ribbons or something like the Battle Royal or contest. Nothing like that. It's just you beat the game, that's it. And that was really disappointing, and so I'm worried that Teal Mask and Indigo Disc might be the same way. You know, I'll beat Teal Mask and I'll beat the Indigo Disc, and then there'll be nothing to do after. I really hope that Indigo Disc has like a battle facility, since the school is very focused on battling. You know, maybe even battle facilities, plural. Battle Frontier, please. Please. But anything like that, I think, should be a thing. I also, on this note, also think there should be some kind of facility where, like, it's the standard facility where your mons are set to level 50 when you go in, rather than the Academy Ace tournament, which is more like the Gym Leader rematches, or, I mean, Gym Leader rematches, excuse me, Elite Four rematches. It's clearly, like, the substitute for that. But I really hope that there's one where it's just the standard battles that you can practice with, and there's something to work towards that isn't mandatory but can be done, like whether it's a battle symbol or a ribbon, you know, anything like that. I really, really want that. But yeah, be sure to let me know in the comments below things that maybe you're worried about with this DLC, as well as just, you know, you can comfort me about the things I'm worried about, and then I will in turn try to comfort you if I can. I hope I can. But yeah, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications. When we get more information on the Teal Mask and Indigo Disc, you know we'll be covering it here. And until next time, I will see all of you later.